Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k Mordian Glory video, and today guys I want to talk about the latest round of Games Workshop price increases which will be hitting us, well, next week, 1st of June. And I know there's already been a lot of talk done about this, past and present. Whenever there's a Games Workshop price increase, people on YouTube will do videos, and they will do some really good videos about how, what's going up in price specifically, and how it's going to affect the wider community, and fairly sort of abstract and good points. But what I wanted to do today with this video is something that's a little different, which is I'm going to give it my personal take. It's a gut instinct, how I feel about these price increases. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, this is not going to be a assault video. There's going to be some, it's not going to be unemotional, totally logical. This is a video that's going to be my gut instinct and how I just feel about the latest price increases. And I've held off on doing a video about GW prices for, well, forever, because it's not something that I've really worried about, but it's got to a point now where I think we've reached what I want to call the threshold. And what that is basically, guys, is how much you are willing to pay for something and what is like a reasonable price. And this is different for every person, but there gets to a point when you have to say to yourself, do I feel okay about paying this amount of money? And a lot of the time we do this subconsciously. A lot of people just have this general instinct of what they think is just, I see that as a good deal. And that seems not even a good deal. That just seems reasonable. And I think what's happened with these latest price increases, and I don't know if Games Workshop realise it, they probably do, but I think they have reached the threshold. In fact, I think they've gone past it. I think they've pushed it slightly too far, because I think what's happened with the latest price increases, and I can say this for certain from myself, that it has reached a point now where I look at it and my instinct is to go, ugh. Don't, you suck air in your teeth, like, I'm not sure. And that I've personally reached that point now where I look at the models and I love the models and I go, I just, you know what, I don't think I will. That's a bit too much, that is. And I'm not going to be raging about it. I'm not going to say, boycott Games Workshop or anything like that. I'm just saying, I think, well, for everyone I have spoken to, both people who are like-minded to me and people who are, differing opinions to myself, we've all reached this point now. It's only a small focus group. It's anecdotal evidence. It's, the 10, 15 people that I know that buy models regularly from Games Workshop. But we've seen this latest round, and we've all had the same reaction, which is, I don't know, that's a bit much. We're not angry about it. We're not throwing our toys out the pram, but we've all had that reaction of, no, I don't think I will. And I think this has sort of been creeping up for the last couple of years, but I think the problem with these latest price increases is it's now at the forefront of people's minds, and it's a barrier to entry. I can now say confidently, personally, that the Games Workshop models for me there's now a barrier. They're a barrier to entry. The price is a barrier. I'm really lucky that I have a very large collection of 40k of Guard, and I have everything I really need. And what I'm doing with my Mordian restoration project is not really buying that many new models. I am restoring what I have, and I'm fortunate in that case. But taking my Guard away for 1 second and looking objectively at the other armies I collect, since the beginning of 8th edition, when Games Workshop cultivated a lot of goodwill from me, I've gone out and gone nuts on my 40k armies. I built from scratch a black tie list, basically a company of Black Templars. That was all in the last couple of years, and that's hundreds of pounds. All the bits that I got from it, the vast majority were from Games Workshop. I got tactical squads. I got some of the Mark, the Horus Heresy Marines. I bought all of the Games Workshop Black Templar upgrade kits. Hundreds of pounds. All of my scout models, practically. I say all. 90% plus. The vast majority of the models for that project were bought from Games Workshop. That is hundreds of pounds. That army when you take into account all the paints and paintbrushes and basing materials, all the conversion parts, all the bits, absolutely everything taken into account, that army must be, you know, a £500 army at least. You know, we're looking at 100, we're looking at 60 tactical marines, 40 scouts, and then I also got my Land Raider Crusader. I've got three rhinos. You know, some of it was second hand. I won't include the vehicles because I got the vehicles on a good deal. But the infantry was all from Games Workshop, and I definitely say, you know, that the infantry alone I would have spent £500 on, because I've got my Terminators, I've got Vanguard Veterans, I've got all my characters, I've got Helbrecht. You know, all of that was bought new. So I easily a £500 army when you take into account all the bits, the conversion parts, and the paints. I did that because it was an army that I really, really wanted, and the price for the army I felt was acceptable because I built it over the course of a couple of years. And it was a passion project. Now, there were bits that I did get second hand and stuff. Like I said, I got a lot of the vehicles second hand. But the core of the army, which I use in the majority of battle ports, I bought new from Games Workshop. And whilst it was expensive, I felt that paying, you know, 25... When I started the project, it was £23.50, I believe, for a squad of tactical marines. And it was £25 roughly. I think it's about £23. It worked out an average of £23.50 for the tactical marines, and it was £15.50 for the scouts. And when I went into my local Games Workshop to buy those models consistently, I never had an issue with paying that. Even though I was paying, when you think about it, for 10 scouts, I was actually paying more than I was paying for 10 tactical marines. I had no issue, because what I did is I went in and bought the army, you know, basically a box at a time. So I went in once a week, once every 2 weeks, and bought myself that box of scouts. And I'd spend the week building and painting those scouts up, or 2 weeks building and painting up the 10 tactical marines. And even though it worked out to be a lot of money, you know, approximately £500 with all the everything included, I didn't have any issue with that. I didn't feel that cost, because it was only £15 here, £23 there, you know, tenner for the paint here. It was lots of incremental costs, which I was happy to pay those costs because I could afford it over the period of time. Likewise with my Genestealer cult, I spent, you know, a year or so, about 6 months to a year, building up a full Genestealer cult army, and I bought the vast majority of that stuff directly from Games Workshop. There was some bits of infantry which I got from third-party retailers, but I didn't get anything second-hand already built. That's what we've got to understand. I bought it all brand new in box, either from Games Workshop or from a Games Workshop supplier. And the vast majority of it was directly from Games Workshop, especially when the second phase of Genestealer cult models hit. I went to my Games Workshop and dropped £200 in one go. First time I've ever done that, because I saw the models and I thought the models which are coming out in this second wave are appropriately priced. The Achilles Ridge Runner, £22.50. It's a little buggy. It's bigger than a Sentinel, small, you know, similar size, sort of a Chimera. New model, really good detail. It was a, you know, I felt spend £22.50 was a little much, but you know, I could justify it. I was, you know, splurging on a new army, and then that was a time when I actually spent a lot of money in one chunk, and I was able to justify that because I thought the amount of models I'm getting for my about £200 was pretty good. You know, I got boxes of bikers, boxes of all the characters were appropriate. I mean, the characters were a little expensive, but some of, you know, most of the characters were between the £10 and £15 mark. I'm okay. I'm willing to pay £10 to £15 for a character, especially if it's a new one and I'm getting it on release. So what am I saying here? If I was to do both of those projects again from the new price increases, I wouldn't. You know, I just wouldn't do it. Simple as that. You know, using the Ridge Run as an example, it's 30 quid for one of those things. I think it's going up to £32.50. I don't know for sure, but it's already gone up enough. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't justify it to myself. I would go to buy that box and I would look at it and instinctively in my heart and in my gut, I know I'd be like, I can't do it. It's only a little buggy. For the same price, I could get myself like a Lehman Russ or something similar. I just can't do it. I can't do it. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to put that back. And I think that's the problem. I think that's where we've reached with the models now. And I can say confidently, I'm going to stick with that Achilles Ridge runner for a second. There's a reason I don't have 9 of the things. I love the models to death. Absolutely love them. There's a reason I don't have 9 of them. I can't afford it. That's not even true. I could afford it. I'm very, this is not a humble brag. I'm very fortunate that I could afford it, especially when you take into account the support I get on Patreon. I definitely could. But I can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to go and drop £270, £300 on Achilles Ridge runners. I'm really getting it. It's a meme army. It's not, yes, it's competitive, but it's just a meme army. I don't want to. And this is what I want to get to now, guys. This is what I want to talk about. The price increases have finally got to the point where my ability to collect new armies, my ability just to do a fun project is being strangled. I really want to collect a Green Tide army. I've mentioned that before. I can't justify it now. £25 for a box of boys. You're going to get like what, 10, 11 of the suckers? To get half of the models I want, just the infantry, I'd have to spend 250 quid. And then if I wanted to get all the infantry I want, minimum I'm going to have to spend 500 quid. And we're not even talking about characters on top of that now. No, characters on top of that is going to easily bring the army up to 600 quid. You add the paints on top. Paints are a hidden cash cow for Games Workshop. I easily spend £100, £150 on paints and paintbrushes and basing and conversion bits, all the conversion bits. If I want to do a Green Tide army now, it's going to cost me, I'd say, £750. Now, some of you might say, no, you can do it for much cheaper than that. You can do it for much cheaper than that. Yeah, I could, but I like to put a lot of passion into my armies. For God's sake, there's no need for me to redo all the Mordians. I'm doing it because I love the army. But and I want a Green Tide army, but unless I go and get it from Games Workshop, from eBay, I can't justify it. I can't do it. I can't. Instinctively, I recoil from it. And likewise, I had a really, really good idea, really fun project to build a Chaos Guard army, a Renegades and Heretics army. And what I wanted to do is go around all the different Chaos Infantry, human infantry boxes that Games Workshop do. One of each of the Warband squads, a couple of the Traitor Guardsman sets, a couple of loads of the regular Chaos Cultists, some Catachans. I was gonna put together this Renegade Guard army. And I was thinking maybe I could do it similar to my G-Solar cult army and have it as a generic big cult uprising. I can't do it. Let's go. What was it? 35. It's going to go up to £35 for a box of Warband guys. £35 for 10. For 10, what will be 4 or 5 point infantry for me? I can't do it. I can't just. It's too expensive. And that's what it comes down to. It's too expensive. And that sounds obvious, right? Games Workshop's always been expensive, and I want to address it now. And there may already be comments down in there, but I've left it a bit late, so I don't blame people. They've jumped the gun and typed it. I'm not arguing here with the ability. Games Workshop can charge what they want. Their business, absolutely. I'm not questioning that, and I'm not saying boycott Games Workshop and go collect Bolt Action or anything like that. I'm not saying that either. This is me. As a wargamer, just saying how I feel about it, and the feeling is that I don't feel like I can do my fun hobby, my fun projects anymore. What used to happen is I'd wake up one day and I'd be like, you know what, fuck it, I want to collect that mad army, and then a week later I'd regret it. But guess what? I'd already bought the models by then, and I was committed. Now what happens when I go to do that? And this is not even taking into account the current pricing. It's only going to get worse. But I get to I put all the stuff in the cart from Games Workshop, and then I go and it gets about halfway through me adding all the models that I want to do, and I just go, oh shit! Now we're already up to like 300 quid, and I haven't even got half of what I wanted. You know, and what's happening is I can't just buy a model and expand my collection. Now, if I want to collect a new faction, I have to really plan what I want to do. Like if I wanted to, with my Gene Stealer Cut army, I originally went in there with this plan of I'm going to collect this pure infantry guard-like neophyte army, and then what ended up happening is I got distracted and I saw some cool models and I bought some Gene Stealers and bought some, because I felt like paying 18 quid for 8 Gene Stealers. It was a bit expensive. It was all right. It's under £20. It's all right. You know, I can justify that. To going off on a tangent, and as it turned out, you know, I got the neophyte army, and along the way I went and bought 3 trucks and 20 acolytes and some Goliaths that I converted into Aberrants. I went nuts, and I bought way more than I originally intended to, because I thought this is a good deal. This is not even a good deal. This is reasonably priced. I can justify going off track because it'll be fun. The pound to fun ratio, the money to fun ratio is there, and now it's not. And yeah, I'm probably repeating myself in this video, but what I feel like now is when I go to do another project, when I want to have a break from my Mordians, I feel like I can't, because it's I just feel like it's money. It's too much money that I'm putting into another project. And really, this stuff costs so much now that I really need to focus my projects. And I think that's a big problem for Games Workshop. I really do. Because they do, I think they make a lot of money. And I think the vast majority of their money comes from impulse purchases. You know, and if people have to really start planning their purchases, they're going to put too much thought into it. And when they start thinking about it too much, they're going to, like me, they're going to be like, oh, this is a bit much, isn't it? I don't think I'll bother. Fuck it, I don't think I'll bother. And they will naturally start looking at other game systems, potentially. Like, and the moment you look outside of the Games Workshop bubble, you do start to realise, bloody hell, you know, there are other options out there. You know, look at Bolt Action. Let's take Bolt Action for an example. You know, you can get 30 Japanese infantry for £25. Or you could get, you know, 10 guardsmen for about the same price. Well, which one are you going to do? You're going to, you know, you're going to start thinking, you're going to buy the Bolt Action stuff, aren't you? I'm looking at Bolt Action now because I want to collect a new army, but I don't want to collect a new Games Workshop one because it's too expensive. The only reason I'm looking at Bolt Action is my natural instinct to the game. I'm only analysing this now after this video. My natural instinct has been, I want to buy a new army, I'm ready for a new army, but I don't want to spend that much money. It's too much. You know, it's not even that. It's too much that I go to buy the stuff and I go, like I said, it's that instinctive, that reflex action. I don't like it. You know, that's the problem. Now, some people might say, oh, but Games Workshop, they want to, you know, they focus on the kids, you know, who go, mummy, I want to buy Warhammer models, and then they go and buy them, by, you know, what little Timmy wants, little Timmy gets, kind of things. But I don't necessarily believe that is true. I actually think that the kind of people that will put a serious amount of money into this hobby are people like myself, who, you know, late 20s, good job, lots of disposable income, very passionate about a hobby. You know, we're not a kid with a flitting interest. You know, I am a man who wants to spend my cash on something that I love, and that's where I think the vast majority of the money actually comes from. It's from the I wouldn't say that the long beard community, but it's from the people who are in their 20s, going into 30, you know, between 20 and 30, who have got money but not a lot of responsibility. I don't have any kids or any family, and they used to play Warhammer a little bit as a kid, but they actually want to get into it properly now and do it properly as an adult. I think that's where the majority of the money lies. I know some people talk about them chasing the competitive community and stuff like that. A bit, but I think that's maybe where they are chasing the money. But where I think the vast majority of the money comes from is from people like myself, where 40k is. If I was to look at me, I am probably actually unusual for a wargamer, because Warhammer, I am a cash cow. I am a whale. That old sales term, the whales. I want to spend my money on just one game system at the moment, Warhammer 40k. I don't play a lot of video games. I don't play a lot of other game systems. I've started dabbling, but all my spare hobby money, all my treat money to myself goes into one thing at the moment, which is Warhammer 40k. And like I said at the beginning, this is just an instinct, gut feeling video. I'm not going to want to do that as much anymore. Why would I want to? I mean, I tell you why I'd want to, because I want the cool models. But I can just tell you now, I'm not going to be able. I'm going to, you know what? I'm not going to say something stupid like that. I'm not going to say, oh, I'll never be able to buy from Games Workshop again. I'm not going to say that. I'm still going to buy Games Workshop stuff, but it's going to be very focused. I'm not all. And as a result, I'm going to spend less money with Games Workshop simply because I'm not going to wake up and want to do those instinctive mad projects. The Chaos Cultist army. I'm not really going to be able to justify buying one of every guard regiment, or really getting into my Chaos Space Marines, because I've got a Chaos army. I'm not going to be able to really justify it as much, because I'm just going to focus on my one thing, which is my guard. And as a result, I'm going to spend way less money with Games Workshop. That's just naturally what's going to happen. So there you go, guys. It's put down in the comment section below whether you agree with me. If you want to put down in the comment section, well, Games Workshop's a business, they've got to make money. You go, girl. You do that. I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you put that down there. But that wasn't really the point I was making. The point of this long, rambling, off the cuff, unprofessional video is how I feel about it. And often as gamers we focus on the logic and pounds, pence, math hammer. That's where a lot of us come from. But at the end of the day, we do all have gut instinct. Everyone in their mind has an idea of what is reasonable. And I think we've reached that point now with Warhammer where the majority of products now trigger that reflex of, well, that's not reasonable. No, I won't bother. I think that's where we're at. Maybe I am totally wrong, but put it down in the comment section below. And what I want you to put down is, don't necessarily put down the old arguments of Games Workshop can do what they want, and or the old salt of I'll go somewhere else. Put down how you feel about it, not analysing the whole community, but just how you personally, gut instinct, how you react to this. And when you are going to buy your models now, what is your gut instinct? And maybe you'll say, doesn't bother me at all. I think the models are great. And to be honest, Games Workshop could charge whatever they want. And I personally feel that the quality they put out is worth it. If you say that, if you believe that, put it down there. Because I want to know that I'm not just in an echo chamber here, guys. Likewise, if you think, what, Modern Glory, you finally put your finger on what I was feeling but couldn't quite express. It is a bit expensive. It is a bit much. And I have that natural revulsion now. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Put it down below. Let me know what you think. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.